And we are finally live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 76 of the Sling'N podcast. I'm TJ.
I'm Kent.
You mispronounced late.
I'm sorry. I was having fun at the range. I wish I could be like, oh, I was like working or I was just practicing. And for some reason I was like, yeah, 9:30. Oh fuck, TJ texted me. Update.
So what did I tell you about fucking off with your friends after the sun goes down? What did I tell you? Only going to get you in trouble. Anyway, folks, so once again, guys, just another quick episode from Kent and myself tonight. So Kent is a big boy now. He got himself a grown-up battle belt that he can takes with him to the range that he ends up missing the show for. This is going to be a running joke for the whole show. I just hope you realize that.
Yeah, I know it's fine. It's fine. What you guys don't know is TJ admonished me like aggressively on the phone. He's like, this is a professional operation. You have no idea what you're doing. I'd fire you, but I can't because I like you. Fuck.
Yeah, that is kind of a real predicament, right?
Right. You actually can't fire me.
We can't fire each other.
No.
All we can do is treat this like a game of Monopoly and say, fuck this, I'm going home.
That's it.
And then you just do the show without me, or I do the show without you. It's a vicious cycle.
Or we have to get a divorce and then like split the viewer. How do we split?
The viewer. I think there was an episode in the Bible that my favorite Sunday television show. No, those were the cities that God turned to salt.
Oh, that was about. Never mind. All right, so who's here? We got Don, we got Ronnie, we got Landon.
Well, we had a lot more, but they all fucking left.
No, they didn't. Frank.
Yeah, sort of. So, I guess before we kind of get into the whole tactical Timmy discussion, right? Because I think it is more than just ooh wee. Look at Kent's new shiny toy, right? What is new aside from your secretary needs to be fired?
I'm my own secretary. That's probably the problem. Let's see. I got matches. I got like level 3 IDPA matches I'm getting ready for.
Yeah, okay. So let's dissect that a little bit, because for those of us that shoot real man gun sports, help me and the other viewers at home understand like the difference between a level 1, 2, and 3. I'm assuming there might be a 4 in IDPA.
There is not.
Is it determined by the thickness and length / color of your fishing vest?
I was wearing a fishing vest at practice this evening.
I knew it.
I gotta be legit. I gotta have the real gear. I gotta do the thing. So a level 1 match would be considered like a local match. A level 2 match would be like a bigger state match, and our level 3 match would be regional.
Okay. So like I think USPSA has their area championships. So the level 3 for you would be a regional, equivalent to an area championship type deal, right?
Yeah. So the one
say this is a championship you're going to, right?
Yeah, so this is Delaware. I don't actually remember the name of the match, but it's the Delaware level 3 match.
Yeah, Delaware IDPA something or other, right?
Right. They all have silly names. They all have like Dungeons and Dragons-y names, like Shootout at the Corral or.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
Yeah, like I don't remember that part. I couldn't.
So are you gonna run through every stage going lightning bolt, lightning bolt? I don't know. I feel it's appropriate.
I don't think there'll be much lightning bolt going on with me. It'll be more like, I don't know, sundial, like something way slower.
No, we can't allow that.
No, I was good practice.
Where are you? Were you getting good practice?
Yeah, I was doing great. Right up until you texted me and I realized I done fucked up, and I was burning it down out there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
you needed me yelling at you. That was the challenge. That's when you started getting good. When I texted you and digitally yelled at you.
No, I was all done shooting by then. I had every intention of being here at about 9:15, having time to pour a drink and walk downstairs leisurely and starting the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I done did it. So IDPA level 3 match. Teaching a couple classes come up, lots of privates. Headed down to Yadkinville in August to teach defensive pistol metrics. I got Jedi coming in 12 days. 12 days, Jedi will be here. Then I got Billy Rapier coming. Then I got Tim Herron coming. I got a busy couple of months.
And this is your second time hosting Bill, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if you hosted him last time or if you just happened to run into him at another training sesh.
No, I done hosted him. Hi Tim. I know I just now showed up. Appreciate you. Let's just fucking do a whole show about people making fun of me for being late. It'll be a lot easier. What was I saying? So Bill's doing a rifle class this time, Bill Rapier.
Oh, no shit.
So I'm gonna go learn rifles from a Navy SEAL. Seems pretty good.
No, I mean, if you're gonna learn that shit from anybody, right?
Right.
Why not?
He's gonna make me do flutter kicks and then shoot zeros and then do flutter kicks and then ain't gonna go well.
Yeah.
Tim says, "Don't ever do that again." Wait, what was Tim's?
Never do that again. He's clearly messing up his own slogan. I don't know what the disconnect is here. Maybe Tim, did you get hit in the head? Blink twice if you need us to send a rescue team.
You can go buy Tim's T-shirt that says "Never do that again" from the Sling'N podcast store. Oh, yeah. Sam, what's up, Sam? ETS.
Yeah, Sam's on. We actually got a full house, man. I'm gonna have to start naming these shows a lot more like interesting and obtuse things. Like Tactical Timmy has almost no connotation to any real content. And people are showing up in droves. We break down like guaranteed to make you go 50% faster with Tim Herron, and here's how, and nobody shows. I don't get it.
Right, but you call it Tactical Timmy.
Tactical Timmy. Hookers and beer. That's the next episode. Hookers and beer.
No shit. Imagine the episode if we could have called it Tactical Timmy and just had Tim Herron wearing every piece of Molly gear known to man.
Yeah, it looks like he got dragged through a 511 catalog. Just
covered head to toe.
I mean, we'd have to go to the junior section.
Rodney, fuck you.
Yeah, it's no, Rodney, unfuck you. You are alive. Folks, for the next 45, 50 minutes, it's fair game on Kent being late jokes. And to be fair, though, I hope you hold me to the same standard. Although I'm much easier to make fun of than Kent is, I think. Kent, stop pouting. Are you done pouting? Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is going to be a good show.
It is.
It's going to be a good show.
It is. What have you been up to? I'm supposed to ask you now.
Waiting patiently for you.
Oh, my God. What are you drinking?
Monster.
Oh, that's good. It's only freaking 8 o'clock at night, your time.
Dude, I could shotgun like 4 or 5 cans of those things and still go to bed.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, man, I sleep like the dead. No, dude, work has been busy as shit. My day job has been absolutely bonkers, but in a lot of good ways.
It's awesome, man.
So it's kind of interesting. Like you sit there and you have those like internal moral dilemmas. Like, am I really upset that I'm busy? Because like there's times like you could either be really, really busy and there's almost not enough time in the day, but the day goes by in the blink of an eye. You know, I sit down, I look, I'm looking at my watch. It's like, 10 to 8 when I typically sign on, and I jump on, and next time I look at my watch, it's 4:50. Right?
Yeah.
I think those are great days, especially when I can get shit done. I do hate those days where I'm just kind of sitting here twiddling my thumbs and watching the minutes and seconds countdown.
I miss those days.
It sucks. So I think I'd rather be busy.
Right, but you
to this level.
Time to talk to me.
As you did for me, man.
I know. Let's be poorer and do less work. Dude, like 3 years ago, him and I were on the phone all the damn time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, we grow up, but we don't grow apart. I think that's the important lesson to learn here today. Yeah, Frank.
Question for you, like a serious one. Is there gas in your county?
Yeah, it's slowly going up steadily. Let's see. Last night, I think when the news broke yesterday. So, folks, for those of you playing the home game, that may be too busy with more important shit than to pay attention to the news, and God love you for it. There was a ransomware attack, a cyber attack against the Southeast pipeline that runs pretty much from Texas, wraps around through the southeastern United States and up into Jersey, I think it was. So pretty much the whole southeast quadrant of the United States was affected, at least that major pipeline. So what had happened is apparently some threat agents, we don't know. There is speculation that they're state-sponsored Russian hackers. We'll get into that attribution piece in a minute because there's something you guys all need to know about this, and I think it would probably enrich your situational awareness to this. But they launched an attack. They broke into the digital enterprise of this pipeline and launched a ransomware attack. The intent was to lock down systems, as is typical in those types of attacks, and hold the organization at ransom, saying, hey, if you want access to your systems, pay me an X number of Bitcoin or whatever digital currency that they so choose, and we will give you the decryption keys so that you can re-access all of your data. Well, what had ultimately transpired was they locked down critical infrastructure that controls the pipeline, thus shutting down the pipeline. Kind of like locking you out of your car, essentially, is what happens. So pipeline got shut down. Whether or not they have recovered to this point, I believe they have. But the ripple effect is that the delays in the delivery of gasoline and petroleum products getting out to their respective distribution centers is going to be delayed. So thus the price of gas is increasing. So last night, when everybody was started freaking out about it, it was $2.79 on average. At least, it definitely locally, it was about $2.79. And then by this evening, when the missus got home, it was $2.99. So within a matter of 8 hours, it started to jump up slowly but surely. So we'll see where it's at tomorrow. I'm not overly concerned with it. I think it'll abate itself. It's certainly not nearly as bad as the toilet paper fiasco from last year.
Interesting. So
yes, real quick. So let me touch on the attribution piece. So attribution to cyber attacks is something that I deal with on a regular basis. I can tell you this much to just about every person that would care to a point that it might impact their lives. It doesn't matter who did it. Right?
Yeah.
Also, the challenge with attribution is with literally the click of a button, I could be broadcasting the show. Logically speaking, I could be broadcasting this show from Romania or Russia or China or any other number of servers that my VPN will carry, right? How can you, if you're just truly basing the attribution off of an IP address, backtracing to like Russia, China, Romania, Yugoslavia, wherever, it's not really going to do a whole lot for you. But at the end of the day, those are not extradition countries when it comes to cybercrime, and they're not going to do shit about it, and neither are you. So don't waste your time too much with who did it.
I think it was Biden. Sam has a great point.
Yeah, it's probably Biden. It might have been Harris too. It's probably why she hasn't been seen in God knows how long. She's brushing up on her computer skills. Learning how to use Excel, and ended up launching a ransomware attack. That sounds almost like an absolute word for word script for what could happen when the government gets involved with shit. We're going to teach everybody how to use Word, and we just crashed the economy. How did that happen? I don't know.
I could actually see that happening.
I could, yeah. But yeah, so it is what it is. I think we'll be fine. Yeah. Thanks, Obama. Yeah. I think we have to say that diminutive tone, the thanks, Obama. Like that asshole kid that reminded the teacher to assign everybody homework on a Friday afternoon.
Oh, my God. Fucking Obama. What's he been up to? Is he still driving around with Jay Leno in those sports cars drinking coffee? Or is that
I don't know.
That must be over. You know who we need? We really need Corey back on a show sometime to give us our like pop culture fucking I don't know pop culture shit for like a year and a half at this point. So
yeah, that would be cool. I think we have to test him though first because he's been so busy with school and becoming like this big brain doctor and stuff. I don't even know that he's still connected to pop culture all that much. I mean, we might be pulling up like Miley Cyrus references from 2004. We don't know what we're gonna get with Corey. Corey, we love you, buddy. We hope you're doing well.
Yeah, that is true. So anyway, around here, gas prices went up to about $3.05. The North Carolina boys were saying on a text thread that there were some places that were like straight up out of gas.
Yeah, so I will say this, looking at Facebook while I was perusing Facebook, waiting for Kent to show up.
Fucking dick.
No, I mean, this is legit. While I was waiting for you to show up, I was like, you know what? I'll get on Facebook. I haven't done that in a hot minute. I'm looking through there, and in some of the comment sections, people were posting. I think it's Gas Buddy is a big app that people use to check on gas prices and whatnot. But apparently, states can report outages and like pipeline issues and like gas related news on that same app, and people were they posted like in Tennessee, 0.1% of the gas stations in Tennessee were suffering a complete outage. 7% of the gas stations in North Carolina are suffering an outage.
Wow.
Which is interesting because the pipeline runs directly through North Carolina.
Just give it a minute. Landon will be out there with a fucking power drill and a tap. I'm going to get me some.
I mean, it could work. But yeah, dude, there's so many pictures of people like with 50-gallon drums in the bed of their truck.
Right.
Pulling up to a local Shell. I'm like, that shit's going to expire by the time you learn how to pump it out of that now 2,000-pound barrel of gasoline.
Hey, honey, help me unload this.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is interesting, though. There's something to be said here. So if you look at gas price, so the gas you're pumping into your tank right now is easily at least 2 weeks old, if not older.
Sure.
Because we don't actually drill for gasoline here, or oil here, crude here in the United States anymore. Right?
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. No, thanks all those assholes. I don't remember the Republicans accomplishing anything when Trump had complete control either. But with that being said,
now, goddamn it, when my president was in charge, gas was $2 a gallon. And
and nobody was allowed to go anywhere for the last year. Right. But with that, either way, so the gas coming over to the United States, obviously, is getting shipped over here from Saudi Arabia, the OPEC countries. The price that you pay for gasoline should be based on the prices of crude per barrel at that time. The gas that is affected today cost what gas was 2 weeks ago or older or whatever the case, whatever the flash to bang ratio is for that. At the suspicion of a potential shortage that could have impacted the availability, prices have gone up 20 cents a gallon. Tell me that ain't price gouging. Everybody wants to jump on Palmetto State Armory, or not Palmetto State Armory, cheaper than dirt, those assholes, for gouging ammo prices. You start looking at the oil.
Get brought to you by our sponsor, Cheaper Than Dirt. Use coupon code those assholes for negative 12% off.
Yeah.
Oh God. I always just thought like the old ladies at the gas station went out with their little hook things and changed the numbers all willy nilly.
I mean, that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
But in every other industry that I have ever worked in, the price is based on the cost. It's a cost plus model, right? I paid $4 for this thing. I want to sell it to you for $7.50.
Right.
I have to make my profit margins on it. So it's interesting. I would argue suspiciously borderline criminal behavior.
I mean, as a perfect example, I just paid more for primers than I used to for ammo.
Yeah, now see, but that actually has a shortage to it.
I don't think it does. I think Biden's just Scrooge McDuck swimming around in primers.
You know what? We can go conspiracy theory route, because I heard a really interesting one today that actually left me speechless for a second. Like, holy shit, I can't believe I didn't think of that myself. But there is an actual shortage of primers. I can almost justify the cost of primers to what they are today. You can't fucking find them anywhere. There's still gas coming out of those pumps right now, at least when you're not in North Carolina. But why are you jacking the prices up over a suspected potential impact?
The one thing about the shortage in North Carolina that strikes me as interesting is, like, you know, Landon's truck takes like 47 gallons of gas just to fill the damn truck.
And half of that to start it?
That might have something to do with it.
What's he running, an M1 Abrams?
Something like that. Them boys all have trucks. Big old truck. I got a truck too, though.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, shit, I've got a Jeep on 35s. It ain't a gas sipper, that's for sure. But yeah, so let's go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole for a second. I heard an interesting theory today that the ammo shortages, or, you know, obviously primers being the key component that nobody can seem to get a hold of. Powder's arguably a little bit more available than it was 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Brass we can find, right? Even projectiles are catching up. Like, those elements of the ammunition industry are coming back. What we're still seeing a drastic shortage of is primers. I heard a conspiracy theory today that was that the government has either placed an order so large that it is sucking up most of the available primers, that is intentionally keeping the ammunition industry in the red for keeping up with the overall demand for the civilian population.
Interesting.
Right?
More things back in the day in the Obama years. I remember.
But probably happened during the Clinton administration as well.
Oh, speaking of Clinton era shit. So I spent 7 hours today mulching my yard. And I was listening.
Are you about to tell us how you dispose of dead bodies? Because like Clinton, mulch, wood chippers. I mean, I'm connecting dots here.
I was mulching my backyard, listening to podcasts, and PNS has been releasing their old podcast episodes like over again.
Okay.
And they just did an episode that like originally came out in like 2006, where they were talking about the terrible idea that Hillary would become president because of how bad Bill was for the military. And how like whole freaking, you know, brigades or companies, or I don't know military terms, but whole groups of dudes had like $1,000 a month budget for armor and plates and ammo, and how fucked up the budgeting was, and how guys didn't have what they needed. And then how, you know, because that all happened and 10 years went by and the Bush era finally caught back up to it, but they blamed Bush. I don't know. It was a good listen. It was basically Chuck Pressburg screaming into a microphone for 3 hours, but it was fucking awesome. Something
tells me that, like, while, look, PNS, love you guys. Great content, great podcast. Recommended if you've got time. But while I don't personally like to ascribe to podcasts that traditionally like to run 3-4 plus hours, the whole marathon approach just is a turnoff to me. But the fact that Chuck Pressburg is on there, he doesn't say a lot. He's one of those guys where he's often not on that show. And if he is, he's not really taking a spotlight on the speaking. But when he does, you might want to freaking listen to what he has to say. Right?
Yes. Tim. Yeah, no, for sure. Tim, the show is named after you. Tactical Timothy. So we had a topic. What was it? Oh yeah.
Yeah. You grew up and got a big boy belt.
I went and bought a battle belt. And I've been teaching with my battle belt.
And I brought mine.
Oh,
for visual references.
that's really hold that up. That's a lot cooler than mine is. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
For those that can't see, I'm showing something really cool, and you're missing it because you're not on the live show.
That's a nice belt, Tater. I have something very similar from Blue Alpha Gear sitting up in the front seat of my truck right now.
Yeah. Also, mine is from Blue Alpha Gear. So let's be clear: Blue Alpha Gear did not sponsor the show in any way, shape, or form. They did not give us any products to talk about for this show.
Oh, you didn't get that for free?
Apparently, I did not. No, I paid for mine.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't either.
I guess I need to start hanging out when I go to bed, and you stay on with the guests after the fact. I probably need to start hanging out more often.
Yeah, what's your shipping address? Not Tennessee.
Yeah. So yes, we have had Kurt Sills, founder of Blue Alpha Gear on the show. Great guy, great product, great company. Highly endorsed. Kent and I both recommend them to the fullest of our capabilities. Not just for their battle belts, but their EDC gear. Their EDC belts are fantastic. It's a great product, and their customer service is probably the best I've ever seen. So yeah, go ahead and give them a shout. Tell them we sent you. It won't get you anything, but at least they know that we're showing them some love. But yeah, so mine too is a Blue Alpha Gear belt.
I'm also wearing my my new low profile EDC belt right now. It's new because it's smaller. Because I'm getting skinny, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, well, if the belt's getting smaller,
yeah,
it's a good indication. I mean, you're getting skinnier, dude. I can see it. I can see it in your face. And for those of you that are listening to this on podcast, I'm describing how Kent's face is getting slimmer.
It really is. It's
see, all this fun shit you guys miss when you don't tune into the live show.
Keto. TJ told me keto worked for a whole year. I decided to listen to him over the last couple months. It works. Even Tim Kelly's on here. Like, my man's been eating gluten-free and shit for a minute. That stuff works.
Yeah, man, it really does.
And he had a slice of pizza at my house. I thought he was gonna die.
Oh, Timmy, you didn't even bother to get him the keto or the gluten-free pizza. You murdered
a shitload of pizza.
That is attempted murder in the state of North Carolina, sir. Jay Sprad, new EDC belt, dude. I'm gonna tell you hands down. Blue Alpha Gear, give them a check. They're low profile EDC gear. I'm not going to describe what Kent is showing on camera right now. God help us all. But dude, they're low profile EDC belts. They have been Kent. So you just went to yours. You got a new one now because you've been getting skinny. You're on the slim fast diet, not the slim moderate speed diet. How long did you have your last one?
Oh shit. 4 years?
Yeah, and you probably could have kept wearing it. Am I correct?
Oh, I could still wear it if it had more Velcro, like if it had more space.
Yeah, so it's just a testament to the build quality, and I mean for the price, I think they're after taxes and shipping, they're at least under $50. I think.
Yeah, like.
I think their MSRP for that belt is like $36, $37 or so.
$40.
Yeah, so you tack on $12 in shipping and handling, if that. So yeah, damn good product. So let's talk about the merits of the Tactical Timmy belt, right? So this is outside the waistband, gun belt, think duty belt, right? So law enforcement, military, that type stuff that you would expect to see in those industries, but in the civilian world, right? So Kent, what is let's go down this rabbit hole. Like what's kind of been your experiences with it? What have been your mindsets on the aspect? Let's start picking this apart.
So the long and short of it is that I do a lot of teaching, and other than the actual, hey, let me show you how to get a concealed gun out from underneath a t-shirt or out from underneath a button up or whatever like that, I end up doing a lot of basic marksmanship work with people. And as a consequence of that, there's plenty of times that I could teach whole lessons or whole groups or whatever, or rifle classes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the appendix holster doesn't really necessarily jive with all of that. and it's not part of the curriculum. If it's part of the curriculum, then of course I'm going to wear my shit that I always wear. But I've been shooting a lot of 2-gun matches and USPSA and stuff like that coming up, and it's like, hey man, I would like to have one of these anyway. Why don't I set something up that I can wear to teach out of? So I did that. So I set up a battle belt that's heavy on medical, heavy on dump pouch, heavy on extra mags, and a Safari Land ALS on the QLS setup, just so, it ends up working out that, I can carry a lot more crap. And we do. When we train people, man, God almighty, you get timers and pasters and freaking, Sharpies and various, hey, I want to have a roll of white pasters and a roll of regular pasters, and I want to have a roll of black pasters, and I want to have, throw a damn staple gun in the dump pouch and throw water bottles in the dump pouch. It's all, there's a lot of shit going on with that. And it's just been nice to, be able to have all of that on me on one belt and, go to it. Plus there's the competition aspects of it, USPSA and 2-gun. It's really nice to have that kind of a setup. Works out pretty well. And it's a new challenge for me because I'll be honest with you, my Safari Land ALS draw is slower than my appendix draw. Who'd have thought it? Plus, I can have a rifle setup on there, have some rifle mags, have a lot more medical on me when I'm teaching. That was a huge, I always have the ankle med kit, and I always have other med on the range. I mean, on my body, I can have a no shit whole IFAC right on my back. So
yeah, essentially. Yeah, it's so my utilization of the war belt, right, actually kind of stems from some hard lessons learned while I was in the military. Now, I was not running one of these at the time, though hindsight being 2020, as it often is, I probably should have been. But early days of the Iraq War, we lost several guys in a crew in one particular vehicle due to a rollover into a creek bed that was still filled with water. They were unable to get out of the vehicle, and sadly, they ended up drowning. So water hazards are a thing. Like, this is a real challenge. So the awareness around water or bodies of water while operating became a real there became a real eye-opening aspect of the terrain while we were working in what many would argue is a desert environment. While we were operating around the Tigris River, we actually had guys that ended up going overboard. They were on a small watercraft. Don't ask me all the details to it. It is what it is. But they ended up being on a small watercraft, ended up getting off the boat for whatever reason, and they had their vest on them. And when they realized that their vest was pulling them underwater and it was sinking, it was a big weight. This is before the days of maritime vests that had some buoyancy to them. They were getting pulled under. So they pulled their rip cord on their vest. Vest falls apart, sinks to the bottom. They're able to swim up and rescue themselves. The challenge with that was, however, when they dumped their vest, because at the time all of your loadout was on your vest, your radio, your magazines, your IFAC, all that other shit, they realized very quickly from that event that if you dump your vest, you probably have nothing else on you. So a lot of the guys started carrying at least a reduced version of their loadout on their waist, on a battle belt. That allowed them to say, even if I dump my vest, I've still got, 2 or 3 extra pistol mags, 2 or 3 extra rifle mags, med kit, sidearm holster, things like that. It is another level of sustainment. So that was really what kind of spawned me into really start thinking about that for my loadout, right? If I need to bug out, all hell's breaking loose, gas is jumping up a whole 5 cents a gallon, mass hysteria. In my own personal preparedness plan, I wanted to make sure that I replicated the benefits of that. So it's not meant to be a replacement to a tactical vest. It is meant to be an augment or a secondary compensatory control measure to the loss or lack of a tactical vest.
So the other thing that's real nice about it is because the inner belt and the outer belt Velcro together, I have just enough hair to catch in the hook and loop, so I can throw that shit on if I have to bust out of the bed in the middle of the night and deal with some marauders.
I mean, hey, whatever works. I mean, if you've got your own built-in, furry liner that the Velcro on the belt can attach to, then so be it. Tim actually brought up a great question. For students just learning how to draw from the holster, do you think outside the waistband is safer and more productive way of teaching students how to draw from the holster rather than working straight from IWB?
No, sir.
So I don't know, man.
Let me tell you why. Hold on.
Yeah, because I could go either way with this.
Sure, I'll tell you why. My process for teaching somebody how to draw from the holster would not change, regardless of where the holster was. Shitload of dry fire, shitload of dummy rounds. The whole process is the exact same. Whether I don't care where your holster's at. So no, I don't think so. I see where he's going, and especially with the appendix carry thing. Hey man, I'm gonna need you to thrust your pelvis forward a little bit. I'm gonna need you to look that shit down into the holster. Let's talk about your context for defensive use of firearms in public as a civilian CCW person, which is who I spend most of my time with. Can you articulate for a reason to me for your need to go fast back into the holster? Oh, you can't? That's because there isn't one. What if the cops show up? Well, when our boy Sam comes around the corner and yells, "Drop the fucking gun," I would highly suggest you drop the fucking gun because he's not kidding, right? Like, so as far as the reholster process, nobody should be reholstering fast anyway. And I don't know. I just don't see it as being all that much different. And the only person who I have ever seen shoot themselves while holstering was doing so in an outside the waistband rig. Sample size of 1.
That's an interesting
point. No, I was
point.
not teaching that person. I was a student in the class.
So I think I could go either way. I certainly see what you're saying. Now, we could argue, who is more right, the student or the teacher in this aspect, right?
Teacher.
But I would submit if you had somebody who was vehemently opposed to carrying concealed appendix carry, right? No matter what you said, yes, I understand I paid you for concealed carry and all that other stuff. I will not carry at the appendix position. It could be a stopgap in between, right? A meet in the middle. Because to your point, drawing from the holster is drawing from the holster is drawing from the holster. If the object or the objective is to teach them the mechanisms and movements associated with a proper draw stroke, regardless of the position that the holster is in, I think it would be an adequate compromise in those situations.
No, I get it.
Just playing devil's advocate here. Yeah. I mean, you know me, dude. I carry appendix all day long, right? Not an issue. But I could see where in some circumstances you get those people that are just vehemently opposed to it. And if we can agree that drawing from the holster is drawing from the holster, I think there's still some merit to teaching them that.
One of the things that Tim brought up that's a great point is that while OWB or even offset OWB holsters, you can or cannot make an argument that those are safer. One argument that actually holds some water is that from the perspective of the instructor who's behind the line teaching, it is easier to see safety failure points with an outside the waistband holster than it is inside the waistband, and even easier than an appendix holster, because in the appendix position, there are places on the line where you can't see what's happening in an appendix holster.
Right.
Which means that we as trainers need to be running relays that are small enough to allow that to transpire. And we need to have enough hands on the range to be able to see all those trouble spots. And we need to do a real good job of our communication skills, making sure we know what we know and we see what we think we see between our AIs. And again, man, dummy rounds are dummy rounds for a reason. Intellectually challenged munitions, my friend. Like, you're not showing up to GMD handgun whiz bang awesome sauce and drawing from the holster within the first 5 minutes. I'll be down here in Yadkinville teaching defensive pistol metrics, and although very brief, given my expectations for who those students will be at that class, there will be a dry fire pistol rep session just to make sure that dudes don't have anything goofy going on with their holsters and their draw stroke, and then there will be some draw stroke teaching points. So, I never assume that somebody has a holster that they're squared away with. I spent tonight working with a brand new IDPA holster I've never used before. You think for a minute I just ripped that son of a bitch out of the plastic, put it on my belt, and said, let's go to town? Hell no, dude. Dummy rounds.
Yep.
Make sure we got everything we think we got before we find out we don't with a tourniquet and holes.
Yeah, and folks, I'll even attest that I'm not even a professional instructor. I have dummy rounds. I have specifically identified, marked dummy rounds. Like orange plastic, inert internals, no primer, incapable of being confused with a live munition.
Yeah. I actually load up my own dummy rounds for my own dry fire just so they weigh the same. But yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with doing a little dry fire to make sure somebody's all squared away first. And I'll go even a step further, and I'll say that if I were the consumer, I would much rather pay me or Tim or Sam, there's at least 3 of us on here, private lessons to figure out the draw stroke before I ever got in a big time class, and I'd never drawn a gun before.
Right.
I would much rather spend that, $50, $100 an hour. We're gonna make Timmy raise his rates, But yeah, dude, you guys gotta understand it. That's a hell of a skill set to be trying to learn. And how many programs have we seen? How many shooting, tooting, rooting, gun carrying programs have we seen where we take Betty Boop and the boys who have never touched handguns, and by 10:30 that morning they're ripping, roaring, and live rounds are coming out of those guns out of the holster. I'm sorry, man. And there's 20 of them on the line, and there's one dude with a bullhorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. But I don't know, man. I'm not down with it. So yeah, the war belt, quote unquote, has its place. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, just from an instructional perspective, I think it's a valuable option for, if you're going to be running around with that shit, like to your point, right? The ability to carry all the extra admin stuff. It does distribute the weight a little bit easier while making it, it makes you capable of carrying more shit. But especially when the cornerstone instruction is not necessarily concealed carry. If somebody just hires you or takes a class to improve just their fundamental marksmanship, I want to get better at aligning the sights, pressing the trigger to the rear without disturbing the sight alignment, and firing an accurate, well-placed shot. Right? At that point, who gives a shit where they're drawing from, because that's not the cornerstone of the instruction block. Right? If it makes your life easier to carry, then so be it. So that's one of the. I mean, hell, you saw me ripping pieces off of this thing when we went into Jedi's class. Yep. So.
Yeah, I'm probably definitely going to take Tim Herron's class wearing that belt, wearing my new belt. I might even use it for Scott's class coming up, but Scott's class is so AIWB focused. The whole first day is all AIWB. And Lord knows I got to go get me that black belt patch.
Yeah, man, you got to do us proud this time.
Well, It's probably more likely to be black belt, brown belt. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, that 25-yard single shot's always the.
That's not the one, dude. I God Almighty. Now I'm fucking up to 3-2.
Of all things.
Now I'm going too fast. Don't start me. I'm having a rough.
And that's at what? That's at 3 yards, isn't it?
It might as well could be at 472 yards. I keep missing the head on the second shot.
Pinky pressure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
If you want, I'll call Scott, have him put me on speaker, and I'll be like, "Fuck that, go faster." I mean, whatever helps.
It's not the faster. No, I'm feeling pretty. The one of them I'm not feeling like super spicy about is the bill drill.
Yeah, that one. So it's funny. I was looking at our notes. I still have the notes that we took from when you and I attempted the black belt patch.
I still have everything we've ever done together.
Yeah. Well, it's the hair doll that only gives me the creeps.
Right.
But looking at it, and that was the bill drill was the absolute worst for both of us.
Yeah, it's always been.
I mean, that's an ass kicker. There's a reason that drill is still around.
I'm solidly in brown belt territory on the bill drill, but
actually, let me pull it up. Thank God for the iOS or the Mac ecosystem where I can share that stuff between systems. Let's see, where is it? Black belt. Let's see, where were we in 2020?
It wasn't 2020, dude.
Oh, yeah, February 24th, 2020. That's the timestamp on this note. That was right before COVID.
No, it wasn't right before COVID. It was 2019.
There's no way.
Yes, sir.
No. Either way, let's so you're 3-2. Yours was 232 with one low and one high. So accuracy standard suffered, but timing we were purple. I was 220 with one high. The one at 7 yards, you were at 165. I was at 0.93.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you hit it 0.93?
Yeah. Both of you, both you and I hit A zone perfect with those times. And as a matter of fact, I even have a comment in here. Yours was actually on the A of the A zone.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, the center of the center of the center. But
job.
you took all fucking day to do it.
Good job, Kent. Make sure you hit the littlest paster on the target. Make that fun.
Yeah, but dude, so the bill drill, yours was 270. I beat you by 0.07. So 2.63. But that, I mean, as far as times go, that was probably the worst.
It's crazy to think. Of course, that was in the like class environment too, where everybody's like staring at you and you're all nervous and pressured up and shit. But dude, those numbers now are like it's significantly improved and stayed improved. But I always fuck one up. I did this the other day, and I was like, man, I got it. Fuck. Like there's always one little thing.
No, and it's even what impressed me was because like to date that was the fastest one-shot draw time that I've ever had, and then I come up hanging out with you for the family vacation, and I hit a 0.76 during the Glock 19 non-red dot.
Well, that's
factory. Frank, like it's the environment had a lot to do with that.
No, honestly, you know what it is that you weren't looking for a red dot, so you just fucking blasted that different thing up there and.
I mean, yeah, that probably worked. I still hit the target, though.
Back plate. Just go. Just back plate. Hell, I was shooting an out and back today in 1 second and hitting 2 shots on an out and back. And my buddy was like, so what are you doing on that? I'm like, I don't fucking know. The target's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what's happening.
That's good times. But, yeah, so tactical belts. I guess just to go over the setup, since I took all the time to pull this thing out.
Yeah, so Sam's right because Mark Mandrell got the black belt patch at the first Jedi class I hosted.
Oh yeah, there you go. So from the front, All right, so we've got 3 pistol mag pouches, 1 rifle mag pouch. I've got a T-Rex Arms dump pouch, the T-Rex Arms IFAK. I really like this one because it's the flattest of the belt-mounted med kits. And of course, like as is typical, you've got a tourniquet that mounts underneath it. So it's a really good design. Always keep a spare multi-tool, and I'm running a ALS holster on it with a leg strap. So that's my battle belt. I get all cool with it and shit.
You are cool. You're so much cooler than I am.
I try to be.
You don't really have to work so hard to be cooler than I am.
I got to work really hard to get to the range as much, even a fraction of the amount that you do, though.
Yeah. I see, like nights like tonight, I need to put in more nights like tonight where it's just all about myself because I keep going to the range for other people. I don't mean like a dick when I say that. I mean, I'm working, obviously. It just is what it is. Then I get my own time. But it's certainly nice to do. I mean, I had a real solid practice session. We actually set up like whole stages, really went to town on it. That's fucking sick. What when's your next jiu-jitsu thing? When's your next jiu-jitsu competition?
Oh, June 5th, Nashville Championship. June 5th. Yep. Gonna be a hootenanny and borderline a hoedown. No, man, it's good. Training really, really hard. All of us have been. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. This will probably be my last competition for the year.
Oh?
Yeah, just looking at timing and everything like that.
Okay.
I don't know that there will be any more that are that local to me. I might line one up towards the end of the year. I'm actually registering for the IBJJF, so the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. So I'm joining that organization, and that's where you see like the big world championships and all that good stuff. So gonna up my game a little bit. I might try to focus on one of those really big matches or really big tournaments and have like a long-term goal for training and focus and just go from there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
When do you think you're going to make the jump to blue belt?
When my professors think I am ready.
Okay, so tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe if I'm lucky.
I'm like an Asian parent. You doctor yet?
Yeah.
You call me when you doctor.
Yeah. That's pretty much the size of it, man. No, honestly, that's one of the big aspects of jiu-jitsu that drew me to that particular discipline is that unlike show of hands, how many people have known that 12-year-old black belt in fucking Taekwondo? Right? You go to any of these other karate studios, Taekwondo, Shotokan, Kempo, all these other, more, these more, I hate to say traditional, or I would say quintessential, or stereotypical martial arts disciplines. Yeah, quintessential. That's your $5 word for the night. So you go to those and you see belts handed out like candy, right? There's often a menial test that's involved with them. I would argue to say, I don't want to take away from at least the kids in it or anything, right? Yeah, the kids are a little bit of a different critter when it comes to martial arts training. They need kind of that constant reassurance. They need that good cookie to show the tangible results of their hard work, right? I'm not trying to dismiss anything that they do, but especially when it comes to adults, right? Oh, I've been training in karate for 4 years and I'm a black belt by now, or a brown belt, very high ranking belt. In jiu-jitsu, shit, dude, I have no kidding met what people have just got their blue belt and they've been training for 5 years. Right.
Give a plug and a shout out to your school there.
Oh yeah. So I train at the Tennessee Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. They've got 3 affiliate gyms. There's a sister gym in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and there is an affiliate gym up in Clarksville. So we are under the Zenith camp. So Professor Drysdale's academy.
Is he named after a horse?
That's Glidesdale.
Oh.
Glidesdale, but no, this is Professor Robert Drysdale. I mean, he's a big dude. I'm pretty sure he's got horse DNA in him.
See?
Yeah, muscular guy. But yeah, a great school, great coaches. Honestly, what really sold me on that place was the way they deal with kids.
Beat them up.
No, I mean, no, it's I'm trying to find the best way to explain it, but they don't coddle them, but they support them. Right? Mm-hmm. There's a fine line between encouragement, supporting, and then just straight up coddling. Right.
Right.
Also, the active interest and investment that the coaches and the professors make in the development of the juniors, right, that are running around the gym. You could put all the adults from the classes in a room and all the kids in a room, and I guarantee you the kids will get more attention when it comes to the instruction that's being provided. Right? And it's not because it's not just because they're kids. We have to babysit them. It's because the school cares adamantly about the development of the future generation of jiu-jitsu players and students.
I have a question.
Oh God.
No, how do you deal with the cowboy boots and the Stetson hats and the gis? Like in Tennessee, is that a thing?
No shoes on the mat. Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, like,
they'll fit. They'll fit.
I would think that, Nashville.
Oh yeah, I mean the cowboy boots are a thing, right? Yeah. If you don't believe me, just go to the Nashville airport and every tourist and their cousin is wearing fucking overpriced cowboy boots and a shitty hat, but whatever. It's the Nashville experience.
You have a pocket hanging rig in the back of your gi?
Yeah, there's no pockets, but that's a really good idea.
I'm just saying.
I mean, just to maybe tape one to the inside of the pants and just wear it for a day and sit on it just so it has that impression with that ring on the back of it.
You should really country up your jiu-jitsu experience.
I will say this. You know what? There is a substantial lack in the market for sublimated patches. So, you've seen.
I hope you're going to explain the word sublimated.
Yeah. So think of it like kind of. I don't want to use the term screen printing, but it is a process for imparting an image onto a piece of fabric. Right? Mm-hmm. It's not embroidery. It's actually it's printing, but it's a really weird process. I'd invite you guys to look it up and Google sublimation. But it's how you see really intricate, the same way that Walmart gets the wolves on all the t-shirts. Okay.
T-shirt.
I think that's the best way to explain it. No, actually it's an interesting fact. So when you order shirts through our Teespring store, mm-hmm. Those shirts are sublimated. That's how they get the designs onto the fabric. So it essentially you heat it up a certain way and press it on, and the printed material turns into a gas temporarily and transmits through the fabric and impregnates onto the fabric and dyes the fabric. That's the long and short of it. But one of the challenges with jiu-jitsu is a lot of the patches are embroidered. So they're very thick, very heavy, and they have rough edges. There are some competition governing bodies that don't allow heavily embroidered patches to be worn on the uniform because safety hazard, right? Somebody rubs up against it. It's an unnecessary rough and rigid surface. So with a sublimated patch, you could print your logo or whatever you would have on the patch onto that piece of fabric and just sew it onto the gi. And it's a way of expressing yourself and having your 27 pieces of mandatory flair on your uniform. So I think you get some really cool, intricate design ideas onto sublimated patches, and there's just a substantial lack of them in this industry.
So brought to you by Green Mountain Defense Screen Printing for Gis.
Right? But yeah, so it's
That's interesting.
Mhm.
Never would have thought of that.
Yeah, now you'll typically see like the big back like there's big back patches and stuff. Like I've got patches on Mikey's that are embroidered, but they're very specific. They're very large. They're typically on the back. But if I wanted something like maybe like an American flag on my shoulder or something, something that I'd have to be very careful with which tournament I registered and wore that particular gi to, because they may not allow that patch.
I'm gonna turn your gi into a goddamn NASCAR thing. I'm gonna put Green Mountain Defense, Sling'N Lead podcast, Primary Arms.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Right? There's space for rent.
Apache Solutions. Tim, you want to go halvesies on a gi with me? Let's do this. Mine would be a better deal though, because you'd have more real estate on the gi. But
so yeah. So yeah, I think that about brings us to our hour mark, buddy.
I know, dude. I know, and I just learned something. That's really incredible.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we do need to do. So do we not have anyone lined up for next week yet?
Not yet, but we're gonna.
We should do a whole. We should, because I know you've been asking for this. We should do an episode on Jujitsu, just the whole episode.
Oh, good. Well, get your professors and let's go.
I don't think I can line them up on this short of notice, but I will try to have them on for a future episode.
Okay. Well, we have I'm texting with a person whose name I don't want to say for next week, because then it won't happen and I'll be a dick.
Okay. Just don't be late to that one either. It was going to happen.
And that's all for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the Sling'N Lead podcast. Yeah, TJ, Timmy's in. We're gonna advertise the shit out of ourselves on your gi.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Perfect.
I think an Apache Solutions like patch and a Green Mountain Defense patch would look damn good on a gi. The only challenge, we got to be picky with the color, right? So it's got to be the gi itself has to be either white, blue, or black. Like those are the three authorized colors for uniforms in IBJJF.
I think you look best in black, honestly.
It works really well for covering up the blood.
Sure. Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. Blue and white, not so good for hiding the dirt and the blood.
Yeah. No, I could absolutely see that being the truth.
Because I have bled a lot. But yeah, folks. Kent, you want to wrap us up, buddy?
Let's see. So we don't have greenmountaindefense.com/resources for the recommended reading list. Check that stuff out. greenmountaindefense.com/training if you want to train with me. I'd love to have you out. The whole schedule for the summer is up there. Looking forward to traveling. Looking forward to seeing everybody. So get on there, sign up for class. Let me know you're coming. Really appreciate all that. Combat pistol matches, I'm still match directing at Tupahawken Rifle and Pistol Club. So if you want to shoot a kind of IDPA USPSA hybrid match that's an outlaw, come on out to that. Wish me luck in the Delaware State match for IDPA. And of course, our affiliates and the folks that make this show possible. Mainly, big shout out to Primary Arms. greenmountaindefense.com/affiliate-links is where you can find all that. Get your gun stuff from those places, such as PA and Dark Angel Medical for all your medical needs. Jump on there. And then, of course, our affiliate training companies. Man, if you can't get to one of my classes, get to one of somebody good's. We've got two of the dudes right here right now. Sam from Evolution Training Solutions is literally in my neck of the woods. Perhaps a local competitor of mine's, quote unquote. And yet I recommend his training. You should go train with Sam. You should go train with Phil Groff from Vigor Training. You should go train with Ashton Ray of 360 Performance. That's all here locally in Pennsylvania. And if you get out of Pennsylvania, man, I got to tell you what, Apache Solutions in Yadkinville, North Carolina is a great place to do it. Gun Set in Ohio is a great place to do it. And, of course, the big names, the Timmy Herons and the Scott Jedlinskis and the Rapiers and my goodness, all those big national traveling training organizations that I would mention. If we're doing it, it's on the schedule, it's on the calendar, so go find that. Yes, Sam, I cannot shoot the PA State match in July in Wilkes-Barre because I am teaching, although that would be cool. Yeah. So jump on, support all that stuff. Thank you all so much for your time. It's a very valuable resource. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for being loyal, even though I suck and don't know what time it is. Let's see. Follow TJ at TKR Knives for
you realize it's TR Knife Works, right?
Don't ever do that again.
Yeah, it's TR Knife Works, but that page is currently archived. So let's Sling'N Ginger for all that stuff.
Oh, why?
Just haven't had time to dedicate to it. That's all. They can still reach me. They can still reach me at Let's Sling'N Ginger though. I mean, they can follow the TR Knife Works page, but I may or may not answer.
Right. Well, buy TJ's knives. Regardless,
that works.
Let's see what else. Email us if you have questions about the show. TJ, that email address is
slingandleadpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Sling'N Lead Podcast.
That's actually been the Facebook page has been picking up steam. I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah. Side note, we do need to make sure that we post the link to the shows in the Facebook page. A couple of our patrons tonight were reporting that they had some difficulty finding the link. So something about YouTube being fucking stupid, whatever. But either way, we have heard your cries for assistance, folks, and fear not, for we are here to save you. We will be posting the links to the YouTube broadcast in the Facebook page. So if you're not following the Facebook page, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, do that. All the things. Do all the things. Most importantly of all, everybody, try not to lose your minds in these crazy times. Please take care of each other. Be good. Get out and shoot.
See you, everybody. Later.
Bye, guys.